Hello and a very warm welcome to the Game Changers podcast. Thank you for being here. My name is Jenny Larsson, and together with me I have my co-host, my queen, beautiful goddess,
Soul sister Jessica Isegran.
Sorry.
What was that?
Sorry, I don't know. yeah. So I got the tingling in my throat. Anyways, we're very happy.
You wanted to steal attention from me.
And you were going to say something, I started coughing immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
No, darling, that's not it.
I think that's my tea.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're swapping.
Yeah,
okay.
we're swapping teas.
Yeah. Okay, soon we're going to get going with the podcast here.
Yes,
we're just
swapping teas.
And stuff. And anyways, today, Jessica, my darling, we are going to talk about an explosive subject.
Yes.
In our experience.
Yes, I think it's important to talk
about it. And
it's
important to talk about it. And so we've talked about it before on our Swedish podcast a few times. And you can see our evolution in our attitude towards this subject. It hasn't always been the same, it's always evolving. And we're going to talk about food.
Yes.
And what we put in our mouths. And the many aspects of food and how it's so important in our lives. And there are so many different prejudices sort of attached to different diets.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about that. We don't like labels at all, really.
No.
But it's very easy to label different things and diets and when we talk about food.
Yes.
So this is what we're going to talk about, different aspects about food today.
And I think it's kind of one thing that makes it important to label what people eat is it's easier for us to kind of put people in boxes to understand who they are.
Yes.
We're just used to do that, I think.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, so you vegan, Jenny.
Yes.
And I'm vegan, but I don't.
Yeah. And there comes a lot of preconceived notions with that.
Yes, I don't see myself as a vegan.
No, but it's like we talked about before, in Sweden at least, and I think abroad as well, there was a movement back in the day with vegans that were very aggressive and were attacking farms, and they were, letting out animals that were held in farms and stuff like that. So there is sort of a preconceived notion amongst many people, I feel, that, so you're vegan, okay.
You're quite extreme.
Yeah, quite extreme.
And probably, I guess, like the news just wanted to show these parts of the movement, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
And I can't say that I was like critically really researching what the news reported at that time.
No.
So probably like with everything, they choose to show us the extreme parts of everything, but they are extreme in every. I mean, you can find the extreme everywhere.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we wanted to talk about this today. Different things, how food is so important for us. I mean, it's our nourishment, it's our fuel, really. And there are a lot of myths surrounding the food, the way, we feel. And we're also very interested in like the placebo effect of, if you think what you eat is good for you, how much does that affect you?
Yes.
Probably never going to get that answer, but it's interesting to discuss that.
Yes.
Because of course, and the other way around, if you think that something is bad for you, of course.
Yes.
And you have a really bad conscience when you eat something. So our feelings around it and, our beliefs around the food are so important. And I mean, as in everything else in life, it affects our outcomes and how we respond, how the body responds. If you think, I'm going to eat this chocolate, and I don't want to put on weight, but I had a chocolate yesterday too, and this is not good, I'm going to probably put on weight.
I'm so bad, I can never do anything right.
Exactly. So you're just starting that negative spiral.
Or like, we're going to talk a little bit about that too. It's like when you get extremely focus on the health part,
Yeah.
The orthodoxy, I think it's called orthodoxy or something.
Okay.
It's when you and then it's like then you don't think about putting on weight when you eat the chocolate, but you think about, oh my God, this is so unhealthy. I might be ill if I eat it.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
another. That's really a part of it too. And yeah, some people who go, who are drawn to like raw vegan food, for example, may have some eating disorder with them when they go in there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's easily to be drawn to these different ways of eating because it's obviously not that much calories.
Yes.
In a raw vegan food. So.
And also, if you are really afraid of catching some illnesses, you know, getting cancer, and if you're super afraid of that and you go into this way of eating, it's better to say way of eating than diet. If you go into this way of eating with all this fear, that's really not good.
That's a bad place to come from.
Yeah.
As always.
Yes,
as always.
Fear is always a bad way to...
Instead of saying, I love my body so much, I want to give it only the best, you know. I want to get the organic, I want to get, you know, whatever it is for you that you want to get for your beautiful,
what you feel
beautiful
is the
body.
best for your body. It's so important that we feel like it's a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually the first thing to become conscious of, I think, or, you know, that the relationship to food, is it mostly positive or is it mostly negative for you?
Very important.
And you feel that you honor your body with different, you know, types of food. And I'm going to give my body this beautiful carrot. For instance.
Yes, and when I changed my way of eating back in 2011, and there's so many times people ask me, are you allowed to eat this? And I always answered, I'm allowed to eat everything, but I don't want to eat this and that.
I choose.
Because that's
an important difference.
Yes, because that's when you do the diet thing. You're not allowed to eat things, and I would never ever put myself in that position because I would be like, don't tell me what I'm not allowed to eat.
Yes.
It's also a way, like you said, Jen, it's so important. Why do I eat this way? Because it's a way to celebrate my body, really treating my body as a temple. And I talk a lot about this in my program, Shine Your Light, like eating this way, because eating healthy, because it's you do it from love for your body, nothing else, not to punish yourself, not to be mean, not to be a good girl, nothing like that, because that will never last.
Yes, exactly.
Never do that.
No, and I mean it's the reason we wanted to talk about this was one particular situation actually.
Yes.
We have a very famous Swedish person called Yoga Girl, Rachel. I'm sure some of you know her.
Yes.
And she ate plant-based for years.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah. And then she went out, Jessica, and tell about that.
Yeah, and said that it was really hard eating this way, and she wasn't feeling good when she ate this way, so she didn't believe in this way of eating, and she was afraid of going out and telling her audience that she doesn't eat that way anymore, and there's so many people who have this idea that eating plant-based or vegan is bad for your health. So they kind of got, oh yeah, we were right, it doesn't work. So we want to talk about it from another perspective, because I've been eating this way for like 13 years and Jenny for 7 years around. So we have 20 years of experience, and we are still here, alive and kicking.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes. Yeah, that's true.
So we want to show that part of it as well.
Yeah. And the biggest thing here really about that, I mean, she can do whatever she wants, obviously, and we respect that so much.
Yes.
But just to be conscious about that, you conscious about, okay, she's saying this, how do I feel about that? Like you were saying earlier, Jessica, when we talked here, before we turned on the mic, that I mean, we're so certain about that this feels good for us. So it doesn't matter what Yoga Girl or what anyone else says, because, you know, we have our own proof for ourselves.
Yes.
So that's a very important thing to also be conscious of when something like this comes out.
Yes.
How does your ego react? How do you react?
Yes.
It's like, oh, good, then I can keep eating my meat. Or, oh, I knew that.
Yes.
You know.
And that's the bad thing when we have gurus. We never have gurus, and I'm quite sure that with Yoga Girl, it can never have been solid, like something that really truly come from within her. Because if that's the way, there is no problem to keep doing it. Because you have to be strong as well. You have to be strong, and you know that it's not always convenient. You don't have all the options that people who eat everything has, and so you have to know that this is the way I want to go, and I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel so strongly within myself. And we have, at least I have healed so many things on this way of eating. Like I remember before, my husband and I talk about that sometimes, that we often had problem with our pain in our stomach, and especially me, severe pain. Never have that anymore. That was before I shifted. And I also had some changes, like cell changes, yes, pre-cancer stages, and that changed as well. That healed on the plant-based diet. So to me it's like, yeah, this is for me, this is the healthiest way of eating. So that's how I view it. But it's so important that it comes from me, that no one has told me to eat this way. No, I really don't care at all how anyone else is eating.
Yeah.
This is my choice.
Exactly. Because we do, to be completely honest, we do have a bit of a challenge in the spiritual community.
Yes.
As well, that it's only one way. That you're supposed to be plant-based if you're highly spiritual. And I mean, the answer I get when I have QHHT sessions from the higher self, when people ask about diets, it's like, be connected to yourself. They don't say, oh, you should go vegan. It says, be connected to yourself, listen to your body. And normally I would say it's eat more vegetables. Yes. It is eat more vegetables. But don't have a bad conscience about, whatever it is you choose to eat. Don't have a bad conscience. So if you're a spiritual person and you choose to eat meat, what I respect in that case is that you really honor the animal. You say thank you for the food. You say thank you for you giving your life here. You make sure that this animal had a great life, or know that it was in the farm, free range, whatever.
Yes.
And you eat it, whenever, not maybe every day, every meal, but that's up to you. But I mean, just to say thank you and bless the food. That's also, I mean, because our ancestors, like we talked about many times, this book, Jessica, about the
Aborigines in Australia.
In Australia, yeah, the indigenous. I was going to say.
Yes.
And I mean, they ate meat as well.
Yes.
But very little, and they have such a deep connection to the animals and the plants, and they were so grateful for everything they used.
And they didn't eat the meat from the beginning, but they were like forced to go into the outback of Australia, so they had to start eating. But they were really always communicating with the animals, picking the ones that are weakest, and there's such a beautiful connection to the animals.
Yes. So for me, that's just my perspective, but that's, if you choose to eat meat, to really be thankful. And also if you eat plants, of course, be thankful for the plants and for everything, and send that energy of gratitude. And to make sure, I mean, because I also believe, this is my belief, and that the animals' stress, if you have packed in lambs or whatever in a truck and then you bring them to slaughter, they're going to have a lot of stress in their body and in their cells. So you're going to ingest that. So to make sure that, the animal had as a good life as possible, instead of, 3 million chickens in a barn, and they're 6 weeks life, and then they get slaughtered.
Yes.
So I mean, to me, that's a big difference. And even we were talking about the hunters, you know, when you actually have the you can kill your own animal like the indigenous did, and you take every part of the animal, and you're grateful for it. I mean, that's for me is more of a conscious choice than just to take something in the supermarket and you have no idea where it comes from.
Yes.
So for the health and your vibration, I think that is, or if I would eat meat, that's the way I would go, to make sure I get the really, really good meat to support my vibration as much as possible.
But it's also the same thing, hey Jenny, and our listeners and viewers. It's like, if you are like, you know, you're super busy, and you're like, I can't think about that now. Am I gonna sit here with have a bad conscience about eating meat? No, you're not.
No.
Because
No.
I mean, I've been there. I didn't even think about the animals, not at all. I was there too, and the reason I started eating plant-based was because of health issues. I was really sick and nearly died from pneumonia, so I realized I had to do something. I had to change my life, so I started researching, and I found that the plant-based was the most healthiest way of eating that I could eat. And then eventually I started to caring about the animals as well, like feeling. So now I feel that I could eat some fish, or I could eat some meat, not being afraid that it would jeopardize my health, but I can't do it because I feel so much with the animals now. So that was such an interesting shift that I didn't think. And I know that Jenny, you came in to this from another, because you did it. You started being a vegetarian because of the animals, didn't you?
Yeah.
I actually didn't care about the animals at all.
Yeah.
I mean, cats and dogs.
We just see it as food.
Yeah, cats and dogs, of course, and other animals.
Yeah,
I mean, but like not the meat I bought
in the
supermarket.
No.
I didn't care.
No.
I didn't do that. So I want to mention that we don't want to judge anyone. We don't want you to judge yourself, because it's really unhealthy to judge yourself and feel guilt.
Yeah.
We just want to talk about this from different perspectives, and also like since Yoga Girl was going out that this is not a sustainable way of eating, and that you can't be healthy eating this way. We want to give another perspective on this.
And as always, as everything in life, if you don't have a strong connection to yourself, if you don't feel what is good for you, then it can be very challenging to know. As well as we say, you know, what do I want in life? What is good for me? I mean, if you never take that time, and if you haven't built that connection, I understand that it's very challenging to, I don't know what's good for me.
No.
So it comes back again to creating that connection to yourself, and to your own heart, to your own soul, and knowing what is good for me.
So if you can start that journey first, like really, what's important to me? What do I want to do? Who am I on the inside? Instead of just like starting with the food, because the ego, like if you eat, the intuitive eating, probably my ego in the days before, it would eat like pasta and ketchup and
this is simple.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I wasn't that much into candy. I've never been that much into candy.
No.
But I don't think I had any vegetables at home. I mean, I had some cucumber. That's all. And I was totally uninterested and had no idea. So that's. But when you land and you start treating your body like a temple.
Yes,
exactly. Then I want to take care of this body. I want to treat it the best way. What can I give? Then you realize that maybe pasta with ketchup only isn't the best thing.
Great vegan dish.
Yeah, there is no problem if you eat that every now and then.
No.
But
not at all.
If that is your standard way of eating, you are not nourishing your body.
You know what I call that dish?
No.
I call it
Pasta.
my student food.
Yeah.
Because I did pasta with ketchup.
Yeah.
But then I added some cheese.
Wow.
Melted cheese and some oregano.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was quite elaborate.
Yeah.
but I can still, to this day, when I'm, no one's home and I'm like, oh, I just need to fix something quick, then I can I'm just gonna boil some pasta and I take some vegan cheese on top.
Yeah,
and
some
I just
ketchup.
eat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
so
go-to
I'm
for-
gonna have some student food.
Yes, student food.
And like you say, I don't feel bad about that. I just have it. I think it's great, and I don't have it every day. It's like once a month maybe.
Yeah.
But I love it. It brings up memories.
Yes, and I think that is so important because we have our relationships to food can be so strange, actually.
Yeah, but it's because it's so cultural as well. I mean, we need to. That was one thing that really hit me when I turned plant-based. That, oh yeah, in some cultures it's not okay to eat cow because they're holy.
Yes.
Like in India. And then you have the Muslim cultures.
Yes.
There you don't eat pigs because they're kind of dirty, filthy.
Yes.
So you don't eat them.
Yes.
And here in China, we know there are some places they eat dogs. They think that's okay.
Yes.
And in other cultures, like with us, we would, no, I couldn't eat a dog. That's terrible.
No.
And they're all animals.
Yes.
So I became very aware of how cultural it is as well.
Yes.
I mean, you grow up with something, we don't eat pigs. Okay, here we eat pigs. So it's
Yeah, and I know that I think it has shifted now, but in China they refuse to eat like milk from cow. They didn't eat ice cream, anything. They thought it was like disgusting. And here is supernatural.
Yes.
In Sweden, everyone drinks milk.
yes, more or less.
Even grown-up people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like it's something you do.
Yes.
And you don't even reflect that is like cow's milk is for the cow's children, not for grown-up people.
Yeah, exactly. And then we think about human milk. We think that's gross.
Oh, that's gross.
If you would have human milk in your coffee, Jessica.
Oh. Yeah, it's
that
like
is made for humans.
or even like dog's milk.
Yeah.
Dog's milk.
Ew.
Ew.
But cow's milk, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just our culture. So that's what I became aware of, and I think that's interesting to think about.
Yes.
A little bit. Why has it, in different cultures, is it like that? And just be aware of. I mean, for me as well, like you said, Jessica, I started because of the animals, because I'm an animal communicator. I believe they all have souls, just like us, and we are, all here together, and we're, in this wonderful co-creation, and I couldn't, there was such a dissonance between, because you hear this, that pigs are more intelligent than dogs, and I was like, why do we eat one and not the other? And why
yes.
no, I just quit it all because it was easier for me.
Yes.
And fish and everything.
Yes.
But it was also sustainability thought, because I worked with sustainability at the time, and like fish, for instance, there is no, unless you hand fish them, there is no sustainable fishing, unfortunately. So for me, I just quit it all, and I was just, I felt great anyway.
Yes.
So it was quite amazing.
And then we met
Actually.
again in 2017,
Yes.
and I was a very, very passionate plant-based eater.
Yeah.
And but I didn't I didn't force it upon you or anything.
No.
I just
you
was
didn't.
like so passionate about it. So
Yeah.
I think that you, after we had our dinner together,
Yes.
I think you quit after that.
Yeah, I did.
Didn't you?
I did, because we went to a restaurant in Borås, and I was like, I don't know really why I drink milk and eat cheese. I mean, there are so many substitute products that we don't need it. I just...
There's so many now.
I just,
so easy.
Yeah, I just scrapped
so
it.
easy
Yeah.
these days.
I just scrapped it, and I felt even actually that shift, because I didn't do it out of health reasons. But what I did notice was that the cheese and the milk products, they were really dampening my energy. So after that, and I didn't have low energy before, but after that it like leveled up even more.
Yes.
So that was
you
quite
remember.
it was quite
You told me.
interesting, and the same for Martin.
Yes.
And for my husband, because he's a bit of a follower, So if I say I'm gonna go plant-based, he said, okay, I'll try that too.
Yes.
Okay, so he's great in that way. And he had, I know we mentioned this before, but he had allergy to pollen and grass and stuff like that. But that has gone away almost completely. I mean, he can sneeze a few times, but he doesn't take any medications, anything anymore, because he doesn't have that inflammation in his body.
No.
So for him, it was actually a benefit that we hadn't even thought about.
No, exactly. And my brother, he was allergic to like stone fruits and nuts, and that disappeared when he ended the milk as well.
Okay. All right.
So it's like, so the milk is really quite inflammatory, and I think if you want to start, being a little bit more healthy, I think actually you should stop drinking the milk before the meat.
Yeah.
Because I think it's more.
Yeah. Depending on how much you use. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, how much
sure.
you use. But we use milk in so many things, and milk protein it's the protein that it's the bad for us. A lot of people they drink milk without lactose, but then you get the milk protein. So it's the protein you need to get rid of. So just get rid of the milk. Yeah. If you have some health issues, just try it, because there's so many good products out there, and like. I don't think that many grown-up people drink milk for lunch, for example. No. So you use milk when you cook food or So you just can shift that to a plant-based version. Yeah. And see what happens.
And we did actually, when you talk about the health now, Jessica, I think about our dear friend's husband who had very high cholesterol. Yes. And he wasn't even in his 40s. Yes. He was in his 30s.
Yes.
And he was told that you have such high cholesterol, so if you were over 40, would have given you medication. But okay, we'll leave it for now.
Yes.
And he decided to try plant-based for 1 month.
Yes.
And he actually wrote about it and everything. Like
he had a blog.
He had a blog about it.
He was a bit skeptical, but he was like, okay, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. And he went back after a month, and his measurements and the tests that the doctor took, they were fantastic.
Yes.
After just 1 month.
Yes.
So he didn't go on medication.
No.
He just his cholesterol was back to normal and everything like that.
That's so good.
So that's a great. I love that he just decided to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of listening to everyone else.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show this book to our listeners. It's who can't see this. It's a book written by Mimi Kirk, Live Raw. For our viewers, you can see this. It's an amazing woman. She eats raw vegan, but she did that for like 10 years. But now she eats some cooked vegan as well. I listened to her on a podcast. And she was a vegetarian for many, many, many years. And then she started to get some pains in her joints. And her blood pressure was very high. It was at her doctor's, and he said that I'm going to put you on medication for your blood pressure and for your pain, the pain in your body. And she was like, no, I don't want to do that. So she started to research, and she found this like raw food, and she felt like this is what I feel is the most healthy for me as a raw plant-based food. And she went back to her doctor 6 months later, and the doctor he took some new tests on her, and he was like, wow, the medicine is working. I didn't take the medication. And actually that doctor said that, because she was, why don't you mention this to more people? And
why don't you?
Yeah, and he said that it's because most people will not make the effort to change what they eat. It's too hard. Yeah. So then he felt that it's better to give them medication. Yeah.
And that's a great point, actually.
Yes.
Because what I found, actually, when we quit the milk and that, is that it is the mental change that is the most challenging.
Yes, it's
You're like, what am I going to eat?
Yeah, there is nothing left to eat.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
And then slowly, I mean, if you can Google, you can find recipes. I mean, these days it's really easy.
Yes.
You have substitute products for everything, crème fraîche, mayonnaise, milk, whatever you want to use. There are some, burgers, I mean, and stuff like that.
Yes.
so there are substitutes for everything.
Yes, and it's so much easier now.
It's easier than it was like 20, 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
but it's important to mention that, because when me and my husband started research, a part of us got so disappointed. We felt like we were like fooled.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy all this stuff at the store and it's not healthy for you. Why hasn't anyone told us this? And the second thing
why?
is that we realize when we have these traditional, when we celebrate Easter, when we celebrate like Midsummer here in Sweden, and Christmas, we always eat some specific
meat and fish.
thing. Yeah, meat and fish. And it's really, so we felt a bit of, not depressed, but sad about that we will not be able to eat these things because they are so connected. I mean, the Christmas food is so special.
Big ham and stuff.
Yeah, so you have these things, you're attached to these things. And that's another level of it. So, I mean, you really need to be strong within yourself and be convinced that this is the way. Because it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah, and then we come back to the inner strength.
The inner strength.
Because you also get a lot of questions, since there are a lot of
people are
beliefs.
questioning your choices.
Yeah. And since you're actually challenging, you're challenging their. I mean, if I say I don't eat animals because I think they have a soul, that's some.
But what?
Some people will, it will be sort of like a cognitive dissonance because, yes, I might believe that a horse have a soul, and a dog. But
a cow
and a
pig.
Yeah, well, I do eat them. So it is a touchy subject.
Yes, it's
to
a touchy
join.
subject.
And I was an asshole in the beginning. I was a vegan asshole.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I can come out and say that now. It was 7 years ago.
I was a vegan asshole.
I was a real vegan asshole. The vegan assholes.
Yes.
Maybe that's a title. Anyways. And I was really, so you're eating carcasses for dinner. That's great. Yeah, so I was really judgy, really, really
Poor those
bad.
people.
Yeah, it's terrible for my. So,
and I guess you didn't convince them to eat your way. No.
I was so terrible. But we talked about this before. These stages, I think you have to go through because you are so happy about your choices. You feel so great. You're like, why doesn't everybody do this?
Yes.
And can't they see all these animals being, So there's so many things going on internally in yourself.
Yes.
And it was years for me to land in, and thank you, pandemic.
Yes.
The circus performance we had, where we actually learned that everyone have their own path.
Yes.
Everyone get to make their own choices.
Yes.
What we want to do with this podcast and this episode is, we can inspire, maybe we can plant some seeds, but obviously it's up to you. We're not going to bang anything in your head like we did a couple of years ago or 3 or 4 years ago.
This is the right way.
Yeah.
This is the only way to go.
Yeah.
And it's so fun because you were more like, the animal thing that you were like,
yeah.
Tell him, are you going to eat that? Are you going to eat dead
lamb?
Animal? Yeah, dead lamb.
Oh.
But I was more like the health benefits because I was feeling so good. I was feeling so good and I healed so many things. So I wanted everyone to know about
that's another way to...
Yes. And it can be a bit like annoying if someone talks about this all the time.
I know.
You should eat this way.
Yeah.
So I guess that, like you said, Jenny, the circus taught me this, like letting everyone have their view. And also myself is like, I have this and this is what I believe in. And if anyone wants to listen or want to learn more, they're so welcome to ask me questions and come to me. But I'm not like trying to push it on someone.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because that would give the opposite effect.
Yeah. So I really had that problem.
Yeah, you had that problem, but not
for
anymore.
a long time.
Yes, yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And also we want to mention that a plant-based diet is not equal a healthy diet either.
Very important.
Because nowadays there's
a vegan diet, we should say. Maybe
a
vegan diet. Plant-based.
Plant-based
is more
whole
like,
food is a more
there's a
healthy diet.
Yes.
Yes. But there are so many things that you can buy from the supermarket now that are vegan that are not great.
Yes.
If you look at the nutrition.
Yes.
And I mean, it's the same thing there. I mean, we eat it too. I eat it too. But I don't have a bad conscience. It's like, this night, we made these burgers that came from the store. Fine.
Yes, yes. And I mean, that is so cool, because there are some people who are very afraid of the vegan. I can't eat anything vegan. I don't want it. But they eat potato chips, that is vegan, and popcorn, for example, is vegan, and so you could you can eat so bad stuff, and so it has nothing to do with health.
No,
it's more. That's why I often talk more about the plant-based.
Yes,
but
yes.
I think more people know more what vegan is than plant-based.
Yeah.
I remember. I think someone asked my husband if I only ate when I was because I was raw for 2 years when I healed a lot of stuff in my body. And some asked if, are you only eating fruits that had fallen from the trees?
You didn't take anything. Yeah, okay. No. Yeah. Yeah, but there are a lot of beliefs and like we said before, Jessica, as well, we do have we have the cultural aspect of the food, and we have the family aspect, and we have a complex, very complicated relationship to food.
Yes. In general.
In general, yes, not us, but
in general.
Well, in sometimes, but in general, we have a complicated relation, and as women, we want to go there as well to discuss that there are so many ways to punish our bodies with food.
Yes.
I mean, there are eating disorders, there are bulimia, things like that.
You can eat too much.
Yeah, exactly. And there are so many things, emotional things connected to food.
And you comfort yourself when you are sad.
Yeah, exactly.
You eat. That is, I mean, in American movies, they always eat ice cream when they are sad.
Yeah.
And we don't have that thing that much in Sweden, but in American movies, always go for the ice cream when you are sad.
Yeah.
So it's comforting. And I know that some people comfort their children with cookies when they hurt themselves when they are a child. So very strange connections and attachments to food.
Yes, exactly. So that's interesting to think about your relationship to food. I mean, maybe you didn't have enough when you grew up. Maybe you had loads of food. Maybe you ate only hamburgers. I mean, there are so many different aspects of the food. And especially as women, when we are, our bodies are so central to us in our life, and we have learned not to honor them, like we talked about before. Everything you see out in the world is, this is how you can look more beautiful.
Yes.
This is how you can get your skin more beautiful.
Yes.
This
and
is
the
how
weight.
you can get skinnier.
They never focus on health.
No.
It's always the weight.
Yeah.
The weight.
Lose the weight and
yes.
Get skinnier and
yes,
and I mean,
not be healthy. Love your body. Treat it as a temple. You never see that. No. It's always
that
the weight
doesn't
stuff.
make any money.
No, it doesn't make any money.
No, where I want to land with this is to really, when you get into that strong relationship with yourself, your connection, to really honor your body, and when you start doing that. That is when you can also, I'm worthy of really good food. I'm worthy of,
yes,
doing this for myself, whatever it is. But then it becomes easier to give your body nice and healthy things. And
it's not a punishment. It's not some diet you're on. You're just you're adding healthy things.
Exactly. And that's also a myth, actually, that I would like to bring up, that it's so expensive to eat plant-based. I mean, we have our favorite thing to do, I always tell Jessica I'm very confident in making bean burgers, for instance.
Yes.
I add some beans and some tomato and then some garlic and then some seeds, and it's going to turn out great.
Perfect.
Yeah. And they are very cheap.
Yes.
You just get these beans in it, and they're like, $1, and then you mix it with tomato and garlic and some onion if you want. I mean, it's so cheap.
Yes.
And you can have potatoes with it.
Yes.
It's so cheap and it's so healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a myth. That's that you have to go to like a health food store and get the most expensive stuff. It's not like that.
No.
And so I just wanted to add that, and I think that's also how you prepare the food. We've talked about that. Everything is energy. So if you're always stressed, thinking that you're making shitty food for your kids, that it's like sausage and pasta today. Oh, that's really terrible, but I don't have time to do anything else. And you infuse the food with that stress and that bad conscience.
Yes.
At least that's what I believe.
Yeah.
And if you instead feel like, okay, this is what we're making today, but this is, it's going to fill my kids up, and, it's great, to have that. At least we have food. We have food here. I'm so grateful for that.
Yes.
Thank you. And then also bless the food.
Yes.
Say thank you for this, and, I bless this food.
Yes.
Which makes a huge difference. I don't always remember it, but I remember it sometimes to do it. But it's something that I practice, that I try to get more and more and more into my life. Yeah.
And it's like media, and they love to. I mean, I know that when Yoga Girl told the world that she's not vegan anymore, there's in the spiritual community somewhere like, finally this vegan indoctrination is falling apart. Now even she understands this. And it's like, it's some people in the spiritual community and in other communities, they think this is like, it's a vegan, there's an agenda behind that. And then you always come back to, what do I feel is right for me?
Yeah.
So we have that part, like, and they've been talking a lot about, this climate thing, that you shouldn't eat meat, and I think like pushing guilt on people. They come from that. You instead feel guilty, eat your meat, feel guilty. I mean, we had that a couple of years ago, and I know some people around, they went vegan just because of this guilt, but then when they stopped talking about this, they started eating meat again, because it was only pushed to them from the outside, so it wasn't like really, they were not from the heart. Not from the heart, and the media also love to, because yesterday, just before the day before we record this podcast, I saw, I think it was in one of the Swedish papers, it was like the vegan influencer died from her diet. And then, so I went in to check her out, and you could see, it was so obvious that she was anorectic. Yeah, and she shared, for lunch she had a melon and some juice, and there are no calories in that. So she died. She wasn't eating enough, and so.
And it doesn't matter what kind of way you eat, really.
No,
if you don't eat
I
enough.
mean, there is no one who blames the meat or the standard Swedish or American diet for giving people anorexia or bulimia. But it's like, she was vegan, and she was like because, like we said before, this way of eating attracts some people with eating disorders, because it's very low in calories. Like, you really have to be aware, like Jenny said, but you have to be aware about the calories. And there are so many people who are not, but if you are into this, I guess, like, because then you know what's low in calories. But actually, the first time in my life I had to count my calories, that was when I went raw vegan, because then I understood that I really have to understand that there's so
you need to get enough calories.
You have to get enough calories, really being aware of that, so that you eat enough. And we joked about that before too. When, for example, I go to a restaurant where they don't know this about vegan food, but they can prepare something, or I go to a wedding, and the other guests, they get some really like expensive meat, and I get like 2 asparagus on my plate, and it's so hungry afterwards because they don't know that we need more.
Yes,
we need more.
exactly.
Give me some more potatoes, whatever. Just give me some more.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's important.
That's important to remember.
That's important to remember. So what we want to share on this point, that there is no need to be afraid of eating a plant-based diet. You will not die from it. You will not be unhealthy. You will not be malnourished. You won't get too little protein and all the other myth. But it's like you have to be aware, and since you're not grown up, maybe you didn't eat that in your family. You just don't know. You don't know that you have to eat more of this and bigger portions.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to educate yourself.
That's right.
When you change your way of eating.
And that's the resistance.
Yes.
The mental resistance.
Yes.
Yes. Because, we met a lot of people, both you and me, Jessica, that said, oh, love to go plant-based, but the rest of the family would not like, and da-da-da. So it takes a lot of strength, because then all of a sudden you're gonna, like we did in the beginning, we made meat for our girls, and then we made the same, maybe potatoes and the same sauce.
Yes.
And then something for us.
Yes.
So it takes an effort.
Yes, it does.
And you have to build your inner strength, and you have to build your resilience to other people asking about it the whole time.
Because they will.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said, the most important thing of all, it should come from the inside.
Yes.
Not because some cool chicks on the Game Changers podcast.
No. Like, oh no, I have to go vegan. No, don't do that.
No, it has to come from the inside. But if you feel you want to move in that direction, and it's also, you can take steps, of course.
Yes.
Like many do, like, we try to make like one plant-based meal a week, and we start with that, and then you get going with that thing, and then but like you said, especially for like men as well, I would say, because my husband he's plant-based too, and he eats like 3 times the size that I do.
Yes.
And he knows that. In the beginning he was hungry the whole time.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize he had to eat double the amount.
Yes. And he also exercises a lot.
Yeah, he does.
He's very active.
He's very active. So
yes.
he's got to make sure he gets enough calories.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's very, very important. But to sum up this as well, Jessica, it's all about connection to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can discern also when things come out. When you see...
Exactly.
You see, and build that strength internally, and when you feel you want to move in one direction and honor your body and love yourself, make healthy choices, take that step. But it's all about the connection to you, and not to listen to what other people say.
Yes. Very, very, very important. I think about people who are like, have put Yoga Girl on a pedestal, like, okay, when she was eating vegan, maybe they did that too, and they were struggling with that, and now, oh no, she's eating meat. Oh, thank
great.
God I can do that too.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if we also talked about this, Jessica, and we have to wrap up soon.
Yes,
we do. Oh, it's 12. Pause. Yes, the last thing I'm going to say is also the placebo effect of, I mean, I feel great. I'm never gonna eat meat. Some cheese might slip in sometime sometimes I can only get a vegetarian. 5 years ago I would never accepted that. Now I do. The same thing. No shame. Just thank you to the cow who provided this. And now there's some cheese in here.
Yes.
No big deal.
No.
Okay, I'll eat this. You know, if you're in a restaurant and they have nothing, for instance.
Yes.
So I do that. Like 5 years ago, I would have said, okay, I'll have nothing.
Yes, exactly. And
but I don't do that now.
No, if someone have baked something and put their heart, oh, I'm sorry, I think there might be some milk in there. I wouldn't be like, no, I'm not going to have that. You have to bake something else for me.
Yeah, exactly. No.
So I get what you mean, Sunny. Sunny.
So
Jenny.
So I just feel great, and like we should add as well, like we've been talking about, to eating only store-bought food the whole time. It doesn't matter if it's meat or if it's vegan or if it's that's not really nutritious for you, in my world at least. But I mean, if you prepare your food, if you honor your food, and if you choose to eat meat twice a week, you make sure it comes from somewhere, where the animal had a great, you honor it, that's great. And also another thing that I heard about this is that during our thousands of years of evolution, I mean, sometimes, like the Aboriginals in Australia and in the Ice Age, because we were mainly plant-based in the whole world, and then in some places, Ice Age came, and we hunted as well, but very little. It's not very much you get, and the Ice Age came, which made that some parts of the world you had to eat meat. So that could be also that some bodies are better on some meat, if you know what I mean, because it's in our evolution.
Yes.
But we've mostly been plant-based. So, but there's both, and that's why we also have to feel. And the wrong thing, what I feel personally, is the mass production.
Yes.
And not to support that.
Yes.
Whatever you choose, not to choose to support the mass production of animals, because it's
Yes.
bad for the environment, bad for the animal, bad for everyone.
Yes.
So that's.
And I think that many of you who are listening to us and watching, you are aware of this.
Yeah.
So
it's about awareness as always, and if you have a strong connection to yourself, you know what you should put in your body to honor your body.
Yes. So we want to show that you can eat like plant-based for 20 years, like we have done together, and you can be alive and kicking, and happy and healthy, and actually finding it very easy to eat this way now.
Yeah, these days it's very nice. Yeah.
So that's what we want to.
We're loving it, and I'm gonna get some plant-based lunch soon.
Yes, you will. You will get some plant-based lunch here today.
Pasta with ketchup. No, I'm just
Pasta rouge.
Pasta rouge.
Pasta rouge.
Yes.
The French.
That's very
pasta
nice.
rouge.
No.
Or pasta blanc. Then it's like with cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
We want to talk about this again.
Yes.
And please share your reflections about this.
Yes,
We'd love that.
Please.
There's no one way or the highway anymore.
No.
For us.
No.
We're very humble and we
But
respect
I hope
everything.
that if someone who are listening to us or watching us, who been thinking about maybe I should try, and then maybe you've been inspired by, for example, Yoga Girl, and you think, no, maybe it's not healthy to eat this way. And there are some other influencers to tell you how unhealthy it is. We just want to show that if this is what you want, there is no problem to eat this way.
Go for it.
Go for it.
You choose from your heart.
Yes. That's important.
Okay, darlings.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us during this beautiful conversation.
So much.
I have so much fun.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Hope you too.
It's not as crazy passionate about talking about this as we used to be,
No.
but it's more like
you can trace it back. I think we have an episode called Meat Fury. Or anger, something like that.
Something
meat,
like
fury, and meat, anger, and something else.
I think it's more from a more grounded place now, Jenny.
I think it was more aggressive a few years ago.
Yes. So please, if you like the listeners, please write a review or share on and tag us, the Game Changers Podcast, if you share on social media, and if you're watching this, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment. We love interacting with you. We just love it.
We just love it.
We just love it.
We just love it so much.
Love it.
And we love you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
See you.
See you soon.